Hayom Kotzer v'Malocha Meruba. As I said, this year in Mitzvah Shem, we're going to focus on the unbelievable Sichas that the Rebbe gave in the year Tavshin Beis. There was like one long Farbrengen that was about 1992. Every Shabbos there was a Farbrengen.
Yeah.
It was all short and it was all to one point. Mashiach has got to come now. And every week, why is Mashiach not here? Every single Shabbos, every Parsha was connected to Mashiach and everything was connected to the Geula. This Farbrengen happened to be a very unbelievably memorable Farbrengen. An unbelievable Farbrengen. As the Rebbe came down, it was a Lebedeke Farbrengen, Zolshan sein the Geula, Zolshan sein the Geula. And the Rebbe sat down. Usually when he sat down, I got quiet, if you remember. The Rebbe sat down, this time the Rebbe sat down and he Zolshan sein the Geula, Mashiach, Zolshan kum, and then the Rebbe started talking as if it was Yom Kippur. It was a long Farbrengen, 5 Sichas. It's like about Cheshbon HaNefesh, and that's the first full week after Shabbos Bereshis, and we have to make a Cheshbon that we utilize the Koiches, a whole two levels in Tshuva, unbelievable, about a whole Farbrengen. And then it came to the point. The Rebbe said, "Where's Mashiach? Why is Mashiach not here?" And the Rebbe said, There's one thing that maybe we could do to bring quicker Mashiach, to make a big campaign in the whole world, to be mahadir in the mitzvah of Kidush Levana. Because in the Kidush Levana we say, Bikshu as Hashem Alekeim, as David Malcolm Amen, that we're requesting that Havaya should become Alekim, and that David HaMelech should be revealed, and that's what. And from then on, it became a Chabad houses make a big deal. They try to make it. They did it one year. The Times Square. They did it last year, and they've ming a Horei V'Hamad's Melech, and also Shulchan is brought. In Shulchan the minig is to dance after Kidush Levana, like by a chassan, That's
in Shulchan.
It's in Shulchan we dance like by a chasana. Unbelievable. So the Rebbe explained how the whole inyan of the whole inyan of Kiddush Levana is the making Havaya Hu Lakim. There's a story of Eliyahu Hanavi, and that the king Achav and Izebel's wife, they killed all the Nevi'im. There was 100 Nevi'im left. They were hiding 50 in each cave. The Eibusha told Eliyahu Hanavi to go and speak to Achav. He gathered all the Jews in Har Carmel, and they brought the Nevi Abal, and he said, "We're going to make a contest. We'll see who's really the Eibishter." And they brought a korban, and he told them that we'll see. You bring a korban, we'll see. Ask God to bring down the fire. And they asked God to bring down the fire. Said Gonash Geholfen. They cut themselves. They were bleeding, and he started to laugh at them. He says, "Maybe your God is sleeping. Scream a little louder." Finally, when they gave up, he said, "Okay, make trenches, pour water."
It was against the law, too, right, to do that.
It was outside of Yerushalayim. And the Eibusha told him to do it. Pour the water, bring the korban. All of a sudden, a heavenly fire came down from heaven, ate up the korban. And all the Jews saw it, and they scream out, "Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem hu Elokim." In this Farbrengen, the Rebbe explained how the whole inyan of Kiddush Levana is really Hashem hu Elokim. The whole inyan of Kiddush Levana is Havaya hu Elokim. Because Shemesh U'Mogen Havaya Elokim. Elokim means where there is the Eibush is hidden. Elokim is a Gematria Teva, which is like the Levana, and the Shemesh is Yud like Yud Kei Vavke. And now we don't see in the Elokim, we don't see so much Yud Kei Vavke, but the job of the Yid is to declare in the world Hashem Elokim. And that's the whole idea of the Kiddush Levana. Mashiach will come, because that's when it'll be the ultimate revelation of Hashem Elokim. And the Rebbe said that we should make a campaign to be mahadir in the mitzvah of Kiddush Levana. And for sure with that, Mashiach is going to come. Then all of a sudden, the Rebbe started saying in the Yom Kippur tune, Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem hu Elokim, 7 times. If you look here in the Sicha, you'll see it's unbelievable. The Rebbe was Magiyat, even on page Nun Gimel here. If you later, when you have this booklet, this from the Basel, 7 times, Hashem hu Elokim, with that nigun that we say in Yom Kippur. Hashem hu Elokim l'shana bo bi, and the Rebbe stretched the word Yerushalayim. Birushalayim, and the whole oilam said, oh, main 770 was on wheels, and all of a sudden the whole oilam started to sing the Napoleon's March. The place was on wheels. The whole oilam broke out Napoleon's March, and the Rebbe was unbelievable. That was that. The Rebbe started that campaign to make Roiv Hamadas Melech, and to make a big deal out of this mitzvah of Kidush Levana. Before we go into this, actually let's go into it straight away, and I want to show you that throughout the ages, Gedolei Yisrael, they were very medayik in this mitzvah, and they saw in this mitzvah some remarkable thing that has the koyach to bring Mashiach Tzidkeinu. And in general, you still look at it to the Pashut, is because this is the whole thing of the Levanas Meramas. The Levanas Meramas and the Jew is in Golos, is being beaten, is small, but still bounces back. The Levana is a big thing, and the Yisrael is Moinim LeLevana, Doimim LeLevana, Chazal say they're similar. And we see through stories throughout the ages that Gedolei is...
Yevanim tried to eradicate them?
The whole thing of counting the Jewish months. Not this broch of Kiddush Levana, but the whole thing with the Levana. So, okay, so let's do one thing at a time. First is, the Rebbe quotes in the Sicha, he quoted the main things, which is the Gemara, and there was a beautiful Marsha, and then there's a Siman Shulchan Aruch. Let's do it as quick as we can.
This is a Yom Kippur night after you finish davening, go make it
with the clothes.
You should look like a malach.
And then we'll learn this in Shulchan Aruch, and it's reserved for you. And then you will understand. After we'll go through this, we'll go throughout the ages, and then we'll go through the Rebbe's Vort and the Sicha about, and then you'll understand. Like it was unbelievable that year. And so at the whole Elam stood. The Rebbe Poshet was like Yom Kippur. The Rebbe announced 7 times Hashem Olakim, and then said Aloshana Bobi Yerushalayim, mamish like end Yom Kippur. And they sang the Napoleon's March. 770 was on wheels. This is Tavshin Beis 1992 Parshas Noach. Yeah, it was unbelievable. And what's the big pella is, like I said, if you look here in the Dvar Malchus, where they have the reprint of the original Sicha, the Rebbe agreed to be Magia the Sicha, and they have Foit Kedushas at Moed Hichris Benigan Amakubal Hashem Olakim, Hashem Olakim, Hashem Olakim 7 times, Lashana Bab Yerushalayim. Unbelievable. Yeah, Shabbos Noach. So, and that's when the Rebbe made this big campaign about the special mitzvah of making the bracha for the moon, which is once a month. Make sure to do it every month, to do it with the minyan, to do it the proper way, and with the singing and dancing. So first thing is, let's look at the copy I made here, the Gemara, the Marsha, and the Siman Shulchan Aruch. Then we'll go, we'll look a little bit into the Kiddush Levana throughout the ages, and then we'll go to the Rebbe's Vort. The Gemara says in Sanhedrin, a person that makes a bracha in the Chodesh, in the Zman, Kilu Makabel Pnei Shechina, so it's Makabel the Ponim of the Shechina. Sivach, it says here, Sivach, it says here in the Pasuk HaChodesh HaZelachem, Sivach, it says there's a Keli Van Veil. Tana, the Veda Bishmoel, Ilmo, the Lezach Yisrael HaGel Pnei Vim Shebashom Kol Chodesh VeChodesh Daim. If the Yidden just Makabel the Eibishter once a month, it's very gewaldig. Because with Kabbalah's Pnei Shechina, we should say it Mu'umid while we're standing. Mekatvi Adodi. No, I'm sorry. Mekatvi Adodi. Benches, sit right over here. Perfect. No, this is a better seat. It's closer to me.
That's why you got there. It's running away here.
Okay. Can't fall asleep. Mekatvi Adodi. They used to lean on each other like you want to do now with Shmulik. Mevorchim, they used to make the bracha. Rabach, Lerabashi, is the Rabashi. Marov, Mevorchi Borach Mechadash Chodoshim. That's what they said, the bracha Borach Mechadash Chodoshim. Lei said, Han shaded down the ladies could also make such a bracha. what kind of thing the ladies call to make bracha? Marsha says a few things. He said, first of all, it's not without Shem Malchus. There was a minhag that women, before they went to the mikveh, that they didn't say Hashem's name. Today we don't have that minhag. So he said, the women, such a bracha without Hashem's name, the women can also make. Another pshat, he says, such a short bracha for such a fancy mitzvah. You're giving such a short bracha. Your wife can write such a bracha. So, the Rabbi Marlow is
what's the short bracha?
3 words. Baruch Mechadesh Chodoshim. A bracha that is 3 words. He said, my wife can write such a bracha.
Yeah, but the bracha starts.
Rabbi Marlow. The Marlow Zechrein Levracha. The Marlow Zechrein Levracha. He said to students like this. The Gemara says that there is a person Amoritz. He doesn't understand. If he comes to Beis Menachem Mendel once a week, he can learn the Shurn. But so so he doesn't know Lo Yoda Maika Omer Rebbe. He doesn't understand what Rebbe is saying. So Marley used to say to students, but there's one guy that's even worse. Lo Yoda Maika Omer Rebbetzin. He doesn't even know what the Rebbetzin is saying. So there's Lo Yoda Maika Omer Rebbe and Lo Yoda Maika Omer Rebbetzin. He said, what do you mean? A bracha like this, 3 words? The Rebbetzin could write that. Come on, give us a nicer bracha for this. Ela ked Rabbi Yehuda, the Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Asher b'moreh v'shchubar shchokim, u'beruach piv kol tzvam, choykos ma'anosot lam shel lishanas tafkidim, sosmos veichem osatzen koin, poyer lemes shepolosen emes, lalvan omer sheteschadish ateres tifeseres, la'amutze votem she'eschidon eschadish kemoisa, u'lefor le'etzim Hashem koid malchusay, baruch atah Hashem, baruch es Hashem, mechadish chodosh. Okay, so that's what the Gemara says. That's why Taka we end up with a big bracha and a fancy bracha, and that's Taka, the bracha that we all say. Okay.
Interesting. It's not okay, but we learned the Rambam today. We finished the Rambam today.
The say that tefillas, yeah.
The Rambam write everything about from Moedei Ani to Birkas Hamazon, but doesn't say anything about Birkas Hamazon. Remember?
No, because he says it already in the halachas. Just the longer tefillas. He doesn't go through the old. Yeah. But the longer ones he don't. But the shorter ones he already said in Hilchas Brachas. He doesn't repeat the shorter.
What is the connection between Kidush Levana and the Mashiach, according to the Rebbe?
Oh, you get this. So let's first do the Masha inside. We're there, and then we'll get the connection to Mashiach. So he says in the Masha, I'm a Kidush Levana b'seif perik tefillas hashachim. V'yesh loim, l'fish Yisrael b'gelusim ein zoich m'lidas pnei shechina b'rechoykim mekabalasa. The Yidden are not zoich to see the Eibishter and the Golos. Aval Kidush Levana siman l'Yisrael shem asidon l'schadish k'moysa l'for l'yotzim b'kibul pnei shechina. But when the Yidden see the moon rejuvenate, it tells them they are also going to rejuvenate, just like the moon, and be zoich to mekabel shechina. K'moyshe yoyral zeh nusach habracha. The nusach habracha is that we're saying that the sun is excited to do the Ratzon of the Eibishter, which the Mefarshim explain, even though the Eibishter said L'chimati v'tzatzmach, go make yourself small, the Levana does it, and even though it's a painful thing, it does it with joy. So, but the Eibishter says that the reward will be L'asad Lavid, that the Levana will bounce back to be big, and the Yidden also, time of Golus, they're small, and they're humble, but they're going to bounce back, L'asad Lavid. So that's the Lazeh Sh'on Mavorchem Al Chodesh Bezman Sh'Siman Sh'on Asidim L'Schadish Kamoisei V'Re'ona Kilu Makabel Pnei Shechina. We show with this excitement that we're excited to be Makabel the Shechina. Let's look quickly the Alochis Shulchan Aruch Erechem Siman Tov Chavav Din Birchas Alavon Azman Asif Aleph Aroi Lavon B'Chidushim Mavorch Shemamor B'Shchokim. The Ramah says Vein L'Kadosh HaChodesh Elo B'Layla B'Eish Alavon Zarachas V'Nenis Ma'od. It has to be at the time of the night when you can enjoy the light. The Mechaber says that you should do it b'motzei Shabbos when you're feeling good and your begodim are nice begodim. V'dafkim leil motzei Shabbos hu koydem yud b'chodesh l'mamtin motzei Shabbos. If it's already after the 10th of the month, emamtin motzei Shabbos. The Ramah says you shouldn't wait then, because now you're playing with fire. You might lose the whole mitzvah Kidush Levana. It's after the 10th. You're Motzei Shabbos on the 13th at night. And what happens if it's cloudy that night? Next cloud is cloudy, and that's it. You lost the mitzvah. Nice begodim. And we don't do the Kiddush Levana before Tisha B'Av Yom Kippur. Matzah Yom Kippur Makachan Oisa. And Yom Kippur, right after we go to shul, we do Kidush Levana. The Oz Shoydim B'Simcha, because the Yidden are very much B'Simcha, because the Eibishter forgives all the Yidden, so therefore that's the right time, because as we're going to say soon, that Kidush Levana should be done with big Simcha, and as we said before, you're supposed to stand. But not after Tisha B'Av, because then there is not such a big Simcha. He straightens out his feet and he makes the brach. Because it's like the Gemara says, because Makal Pnei Shechina, so therefore you have to stand. And he jumps up 3 times. And you say Shalom Aleichem, and if he answers good enough.
Why are you jumping?
Huh?
Why are you jumping? It's like we can't
Come closer.
We will soon talk about we're jumping, because the Indian of the Kid is dancing. What's the connection of David Melech Yisrael Chai B'Kayim? Because because David Melech's kingdom is like the Levana. That the Yidden are going to be connected again. The Yidden are the wife, the Eibush is the husband. Like the Levana, which is going to connect again with the son. This is from the Shulchan Aruch. That we dance with joy, B'Kiddush HaChodesh, Dugmas Simchas Nesuyin. We dance like by a wedding. By a wedding. We dance like a wedding. Because the Yidden is the Kala, and the Eibishter is the Chosin. Yidden, the Kala, the Eibishter, Chosin. Vait, until when do you make a bracha? So here at Yudvav Mechodesh Yom Al Moiled V'lo Yudvav B'Chlal until the 15th, but not the 15th. But Ramot says that you have to be more meduyik. Even in Lakadosh El Al Chatzi Chov Tes Yud Beis Tov Shem Tzad Gimel Men Hamoiled has to be mamish the half of the month. After that, you can't do it. Ema Vorchim At She'avru Shiva Yomim. The Mechaber says that you have to wait 7 days. It's really something which is Api Kabbalah.
So why did the Lutvatas do 3 days?
Because, as we'll talk about it,
when you're going to miss the
some say 3 days, and some people keep 7 days. You'll mind the winter when they're scared, then they won't wait 7 days. You do a tachas kippus hashamayim. Okay.
Let me ask you, just curious, if we Kaddish the Levana every Shabbos, every month, let's say for this month, for it happens to be that it's very rainy and everything, so some people say do it before, some people say
to do it
if you know
between
it's going to be
day 3 and day 7, even though it's better to do it after day 7. Api Kabbalah, but they say that's only if you think that you're going to manage to do it. But if you think you might miss it, then might as well do it even though it's between day 3 and day 7.
And then did have any experience with when the Rebbe used to come out?
I don't know. In this Sicha actually, the Rebbe says that maybe we shouldn't wait. And in that Sicha, when the Rebbe said it, it was like this year, or same kviyus like this year, and the Rebbe suggested maybe they should do it that Motzei Shabbos, which they have. So think about it. Wednesday is going to be Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet. Shabbos was Dalet, and the Rebbe suggested to do it that night. Okay. I don't know. I don't know when the Marlet was then.
They have started with the Baba Salim when he was in Morocco. He sent his gabbai outside to see the Levana. He came back, no Levana. He sent him again, no Levana. He came out. He had the stick in his hand. He did like this, and he saw the Levana.
So you
with a stick, you do it with a handkerchief.
the Kidush Levana is a murder word. I want to go through. I found. It's unbelievable today. You can find everything in the world, and Machaya. You can find everything on the computer. So I just want to go throughout, especially from the Chassidish Rebbes, their unbelievable attitude towards the Chashivus, and their attitude towards this mitzvah of once a month making the bracha on the moon. The Kedushas Levi says, that the Chodesh Hazeh Lachem Rosh Chodashim Niskasha Moshe Ad Moila de Levana. It was hard for Moshe. How hard is it? What's so difficult? If the Rambam says a child can learn to figure out to make a Jewish calendar for 1,000 years, he says, under a week the kid can figure it out. I don't know. We learned that year that learned that, and I can't figure out. I must not be a kid, but
The kid in time.
okay. So
It's like the Rashi Melchamesh Lemikro.
the Chassidish word is that the problem with the Levana, that the Levana is when does Levana has less light? When the Levana goes away from the sun, because directly behind, looking at the sun, if something is blocking. So when it stands bebittel to the sun, then it has a lot of light. So when a person is mad himself and bebittel, then he becomes a talmid chacham. A person's a balgaiva, then he's not. The more a person, the chimati as atzmech. If you be memat yourself, then you'll be a makabel. Just the Moshe Rabbeinu was the Rebbe and Yeshua was the Talmud. Pnei Moshe, Pnei Chama, Pnei Yeshua, Pnei Levana. When a person is memat himself, then he becomes a good makabel and he starts to shine. But the Kidush Levana says, why was Niskasha Moshe a Moed Levana? What was so difficult to figure out how to set up a Jewish calendar? He didn't like it. He said, I don't want to deal with the moon. The moon has a pigima. I want there should be Oira Levana ka Oira Chama. I want the Mashiach should come already. Never mind the moon. I want the moon to be like the sun. Because the moon represents the union of Golus, that the Jew, Rachmana litzlan, could get diminished and smaller until he gets to one point. So Moshe tried to pile by the Eibishter. The Eibishter said, no, it was not the time. The Tzaddiget Rebbe is a beautiful word. First of all, just the Psikta. The Psikta says, Achoydesh Azelochem, he says a beautiful word. It says, Yima oides b'rikiya shemayim. So Chazal say ma'oides chosen. So ma'oides should have a vav in it, but it's missing the two vavs because the Levana complained. So therefore they should make yourself small. So he said the pshat is the Psikta says Amar Rabbi Yochanan lo nivra lahoyer el gal gachama. That really, in order to give light to the world, was only the sun. The moon doesn't give light. The moon only reflects the light of the sun. However, the Eibishter made the moon for the Jews, for the Jews to be able to be kaveya, in order for the Jews to make a calendar, you need the moon. Without the moon, but the Goyim, they don't have a lunar calendar, so for the Goyim, they don't need the moon. So therefore, that's a pshat. Achoidish, which is the moon. Hazel lochem. This is for the Yidden. This is the Yidden. So the Chassidish Rebbe said, Achoidesh Hazeh Lochem. It's for the Yidden. The Goy, if you make him small, if you humble him, he loses his whole metzias. But a Yid, even when you humble him, he doesn't lose his hope, because he knows that the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to take him out of Golus, and that tomorrow will be better than today.
And automatically that makes him bigger.
Yeah. The Kidush Levana says, there's a Gemara that says, Zil ayin tav v'kat shel yereach. It's a Gemara in Sanhedrin. Let's look into it good, and we mekadosh the yereach. So he says, that's a Gemara the Gemara. He said the whole problem with the moon is he didn't have a good eye. He said to the Rebbeinu Shalom, two kings, how could two kings be at the same time? He said, okay, you know what, you can't have two kings.
Okay, you get small.
You get small. You get small. So what happens? He didn't have a good eye. So when it comes to Kidush Levana, we say to Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. We say to another Yid, if you have wealth, my whole heart, I'm happy for you. You have, Baruch Hashem, a beautiful family, my whole heart. You have a good job, Baruch Hashem, I'm very happy for you. So we exercise the ayin toiva. We do a tikkun for the so through the ayin, that's what the Gemara says. Zil la'ayin tav. If you go with the ayin toiva, you're mekadesh the Levana. So that this has a special connection to this year, because this year is the year of the ayin toiva, of the good eye. This year is the year of the ayin toiva. And B'chalal it says that Moshe Rabbeinu is called toiv ayin hu yevoirach. Moshe Rabbeinu got a lot of things that the Eibishter gave only for him as a gift. And the Eibishter said, I want to give it for you. And Moshe Rabbeinu said, I want to share it to Klal Yisrael. And for that the pasuk says, Mishla toiv ayin hu yevoirach. Hu Yevorech, that special bracha from Moshe Rabbeinu, because he gave all his brachas to the Yidden. He all gave all his brachas to the Yidden. The Eibishter, the third time he was in the mountain, the Eibishter gave him pilpul. He said, only you give the pilpulim. The rest of the Rosh Hashivas, they don't get any pilpulim. Moshe Rabbeinu said, it's not fair. Why? What's the time with all Rosh Hashivas? They're not going to have pilpulim. So Moshe Rabbeinu came down the mountain, he taught the Yidden v'ima machta pilpul. So he was a toiv ayin. He didn't say, I got something, keep it for me, and it's copyright. Again, he was toiv ayin. He was Moshe Rabbeinu showed the Yidden how to have a good eye. Exactly. That we learn from Moshe Rabbeinu to be a toiv ayin.
Moshe, he was back those lights.
The 1,000 lights. Oh, yes, very good. So Erbazoi, that's a pshat of this year as a special connection, because this year is the year of the ayin toiva, the year of the good eye, and the inyan of Kidush Levana is that the moon was screaming and yelling, hey, he's got too much. Well, he can't be two kings at the same time. So we come out in the street and we say, Alle Yidden. Soll sein für alle Yidden gut. We have a good eye for every single Jew.
I think when Hashem told the Levana, Lechi ma'akit atzmech, they make it much bigger. Every month we go outside, we dance, we circle Levana. The sun, we don't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
What we do with the sun?
Once in 28 years.
Once a what?
That's what she
But this
deserves.
is every month.
That's
You
what she deserves.
dancing, you shalom aleichem.
No. What are you talking about? You daven 3 times a day. 3 times a day. You ask from Hashem, you daven during the day when it's light outside, not when it's dark. You say only certain brachas only when it's daytime. So the brachas is
But
only.
you're inside the room. This you have to go outside to see the Chama.
No,
Okay, let me share with you a beautiful Rashba, the way the Toldos Yaakov Yosef explains it. Chassidus Rebbe explains the Rashba. It's a beautiful thing. The Gemara says that again, the Levana said to the Eibishter, Rebbeinu Shalom, we can't have 2 kings. The Eibishter, you know what? L'chimatis atzmech. So the Rashba asks, you can't have this globe. There's no 2 kings in this globe. There's never a kingdom that has 2 sodim. What's a gefährlich? So he said, the Rashba says, look in the Rambam Kiddush HaChodesh. The Goy, according to Chazal, they understood that the moon doesn't have its own light. It's only a reflection of light of the sun. That like we learned before from the Pesikta. And the Rambam says that. So what's the answer here? So Toldos Yaakov Yosef explains it beautifully. He said the moon didn't know that. The moon didn't know that. The moon said, how could there be 2 kings with 1 crown? He didn't realize that his whole light is a reflection of the sun. So the Eibishter said, go to the side. If you're going to be if there'll be a blockage between you and the sun, if you go to the side or you go on behind the world, you know what's going to happen? You're not going to shine. That gave incredible busha. It says there was the busha of the Levana. The Levana realized what kind of fool it was. It realized that the whole godless is when it's a makabel. When it's like Yeshua and Moshe Rabbeinu, when it's taking from when it's standing right under the bittel, under the sun, it reflects the light. But if it goes to the side, it doesn't get blocked, and it's not bittel, it's not like a Talmud standing, taking from his Rebbe, then he has no light. And that's the pshat that the Levana had a bittel. From the Chassidus Rebbe said from this, that we see from this, that the more bittel a Yid is to the tzaddikim of the generation, then the more the Yid shines, the more the neshama shines. Think, I have my own, I have to go to tzaddikim, I'm my own Rebbe. But that's the way it is. The more a Yid is bottled to the tzaddikim, just like the moon, the more when it's standing more towards the sun, like Yeshua and Moshe Rabbeinu, so then all the light of Moshe Rabbeinu goes into Yeshua. Okay, showing Genug Toides. By the way, another just beautiful Sfas Emes from the Siftzei Chom al Torah. He says that there's a routine. After 30 months, you get 30 days. You know, that's why you make a shechion if you didn't sue someone 30 days. So the Eibishter doesn't want the Yidden to get like stuck in the Welt in Golus. So he makes some special celebration once in 30 days. It's chachus. It shouldn't be that the epis Simchas Torah, and then you forget to hold your Simchas Torah to next Simchas Torah. You get lost on Avenue J, you get lost on Avenue K, you get lost in the Golos. So the Eibishter said, let them dance and let them make it lebedik at least once a month. Another thing, the Elyer Rabbi says, a murder thing is Shulchan Aruch from the Kolboy. He says that why do we say Aleinu after the Kidush Levana? He says very simple. Because Pnei Moshe, Pnei Chama, Pnei Yeshua, Pnei Levana. And who's Matakan Aleinu? Very good, you got it. Yeshua.
Yes,
That's it. Very good, very good. So, okay. So now let's talk Mises. It brought in the Elyer Rabbi and the Bayar Hativ and Simon Tov Reish Beis. There was once a Yid that Rachmon al-San Goy was about to kill him. So he said, you know what, let me do one more mitzvah. He was thinking, what kind of mitzvah could he do quick before the guy is going to kill him? He ready to have a mincha, ma'adev, krishma. What could he do quickly before the guy kills him? So he looked up in the sky and he realized he didn't do Kidush Levana yet. So he asked the guy if he could do Kidush Levana.
Kill me after.
Yeah. So the guy said, fine, I'll give him a few minutes. And he did Kidush Levana. When he did it 3 times, the 3 dilugim, he gave a jump, and the third jump, and when he was up in the air, there came a wind and blew him away, and that was it, and he was nitzel. It's brought in Shulchan Aruch and the Elyer Rabbi. Then there is a story from the Vorke Rebbe. It's a beautiful story. It's not a miracle, but it's just a beautiful. Yeah, the Vorke Rebbe said he was once waiting a long time for Kidush Levana. So he said to Chassidim, don't worry, mitzvah goyreres. When it's a shleptzach, they're trying to start a mitzvah, and it's a shleptzach goyreres. That itself is a mitzvah. Mitzvah goyreres.
Waiting is already.
Yeah, it's a shleptzach. That itself is a mitzvah. Then there is a story with the Ruzhina. The Ruzhina was in jail, and he asked the guard to let him out, in the courtyard to say Kidush Levana. He said, but in 15 minutes, I'm supposed to change my thing. If I'm caught that I let you out in the courtyard, I'm going to be killed. So the Ruzhina said, don't worry, I could say the bracha quick. So he said, fine, I let him out in the courtyard. The problem is that Ruzhina doesn't know how to say Kidush Levana quick. He's saying and saying and saying. It took him a kaimelan of 2 hours. And the guard respected him, so he didn't bother him. But when he finished it, going quick, and he locked the door behind him. That minute, the guard that was supposed to came, and he said, I'm so sorry, I can't believe how this happened. I always come exactly on time. Today I was walking and I don't know what happened. I was delayed. There is a beautiful Maisa with the Chortekov Rebbe. It's just a beautiful Maisa. He said there was once a Yid that came to him with big tzoros, but the Chassidim were dancing. So he says, why are you not dancing with the Chassidim? So he said, how can I dance? I have such a tzora. So he said that there's a story with the Baal Shem Tov, that it was Motzi Yom Kippur, and the Baal Shem Tov knew that if they're going to do the mitzvah Kidush Levana Motzi Yom Kippur, that year is going to be a great year. If Chas v'Shalom they're not going to chap around to do Kidush Levana Motzi Yom Kippur, there's going to be difficulties. So he tried with all his kavanas that they should be able to do Kidush Levana. Problem was, it was cloudy. Forget it. There was no Levana.
We had this year.
But the Chassidim, the Vayla, they didn't know anything. And after Yom Kippur, just like in 770, with dancing, and it was lebedik, and they got so lebedik, Tamid Baal Shem Tov, they usually wouldn't do such a thing, but they asked the Baal Shem Tov if he would come dance with them. Baal Shem Tov said, okay. And they started to dance. It was such a simcha gedol. All of a sudden, the skies cleared up. And then the Baal Shem Tov did Kidush Levana with Simchat Tzumah. Baal Shem Tov later told his Talmidim that whatever he tried to do with Avodah Samoyach, he wasn't Matzliach. But they were Matzliach dafka with Avodah of Simcha. Shartakah Rebbe said to this Chosed, whatever you're going to try to be poil is nothing compared to if you start dancing. With the Simcha of your dancing by Kidush Levana, as the pearl sein the größte Sachen in the Welt. One more story. So, when you go on the computers like Gavaldik, I put in Kidush Levana, you could put in, and I put in Kidush Levana and Sipur. A story. I'm looking for a good story. I got 158 hits. I'm going through, and I find this unbelievable. It's like these old-fashioned stories. I don't know who cooked them up. I just tell it to you, Bekitza, the way it is. I can't wait to tell it to my children. This is a Gavaldik story. It's brought in the first place that brings it is Imre Pinchas Hasholem. It's a story that was told by the Pinchas Koritzer. It's a collection of stories that are Pinchas Koritzer. They're like those stories. They're like one after the other, like strange stories. What can I say? But the Pinchas Koritzer told these stories, just like Reb Nachman Breslov had a special avodah. He told stories, but these are stories that are not told as mashalim. This is told as stories. Okay. Anyway, so the Pinchas Koritzer is telling a story to the Chassidim on Motzei Shabbos at the Malava Malka. So here's the story. That is in Turkey, in Istanbul, there was a beautiful Jewish community, and the Jews went out on Motzei Shabbos, and they were saying Kidush Levana. It was a big oilam, and they were saying David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim Seven Tev Mazel Tov, and they didn't realize that the king was somewhere on some high porch, and he heard what the Yidden are saying. He called his advisor. What are they borching there? What are they saying there? I'm sorry, take a little break from this. They say a story with the Poritz. The Poritz heard the Yidden, the shtetl that the Yidden are doing. You see, you got upset. What are they doing in the middle of the night? So the Yidden, they started telling him, listen, Mr. Poritz, there was many years ago there was a fight between the sun and the moon, and the Eivisha said Chimati and this. Poritz said, what? I don't understand. All of you guys have enough milk from your cows. You all have enough bread in the house. You all have enough hay. You all have. Gott sich kein andere Tzores just because the problems are sitzen by the moon. But the truth is, it's a goyish cup, because the truth is that the emblem of all our Tzores is the moon. The arrogance of the moon is the problem of all our problems. And when the moon is going to be Oira Lavonik Oira Chama, is going to be the answer to all our prayers. As we're soon going to learn in the Rebbe Sicha, Bezo, Malchus, Havaya, and Elakim, Havaya, Elakim. So it's not stam that we're talking about the moon. We're talking because the moon represents what's happening to Klal Yisrael. Okay, but the guy doesn't understand that. Akaponim, the Sultan hears, David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim? What? They believe that I'm not the king? David is the king and he's alive? Ooh, he gets really angry. So he calls the Jews and he says, okay, you believe I'm not the king? King David is the king? Okay. Here's the deal. If King David comes here within the next year and declares that he's alive, you're off the hook. Otherwise, you're all out of here. So what can they do? How are they going to bring David the Melech? How are they going to bring David the Melech? Was tut man? Was that sort of? So they sent a Meshlachas of Yidden to the Yidden Yerushalayim to ask them to daven for them at the Mekayim HaKadoshim. They came to Yerushalayim, and there was a Mekubalim in Yerushalayim that said that one of the Mekubalim Yerushalayim, he sent them to the Ir Luz. V'ulam Luz Shema Ir L'Rishoyna. Don't ask me questions, please, on this story. So there was a story, Luz. They came to the city Luz. The city Luz, they told them, you're in the wrong place. Ulam Luz Shema Ir L'Rishoyna. There's some old ancient city Luz, but no human being can enter there. So if you go outside the city, there's a tree, and if the tree opens up a little bit and you climb in there, you'll be in the city. Over there, people live like before, like Mesoshela. People lived there for hundreds of years. So the kid said that a person went, and he went to a mikveh with Sidis Nefesh, and he waited, and they said Tehillim, and the tree opened up a crack, and he walked in. And over there, he sees people are 400 years old, 500 years old. He meets a guy, he's crying. He said, what happened? He's 400 years old. He said, my father just gave me a knack. His father was 500 years old, just gave him a patch. He's 400 years old. Okay, so they come and they cut the Rav of the town. So the Rav of the town, his name is Ida Hayoidi. Okay, Ida Hayoidi, if you look in Shmuel Beis, Chav Chavav, you find he's one of the people that were close to David HaMelech, one of the brave men that were close to David HaMelech. He's the Rav of the town. So Yidi tells them, look,
I need David.
look, I'm going to send you to Cave of David, and if I send you, he'll let you in. And tell him that I sent you, and they should tell him. So that's what he did. He went to the cave of David HaMelech, and a crack opened up, and he went in, and he saw David HaMelech is lying on his bed, as if he was sleeping. And he told David HaMelech the problem, that they said David HaMelech is all chai v'kayim, and now the Sultan is burning in anger. He wants to meet David HaMelech. So David HaMelech took an apple, cut it in 4 pieces, and he said, listen, one piece give to my good friend Ida Yidi. Let him and tell him it's a fruit from Gan Eden. A quarter of the fruit is for you, a quarter of the fruit for your friend, and a quarter of the fruit give to the Sultan. So Kachave went back, and when they came to the Sultan, so at that moment the Sultan fainted, and there's nothing the doctors could do to bring him back. All of a sudden he opened his eyes, and he said, "Do you have the apple for me?" So they said, "What apple?" They said, "The 2 Jews were here." They called back the Jews, and he said, "You have the apple?" They said, "Yeah, we have for you a quarter of an apple." So he bit into the apple, and all of a sudden he was healed. So he said that he saw that King David came to him really angry that he's mistreating the Jews. And King David told him that if the Jews will give you a quarter of the apple that I gave them, you'll be healed. But you better behave nicely to the Jews from now on. So he ate a quarter of an apple, and Sigaran David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim.
You can't make this up.
Unless you're sitting
Where
with
is
some
this
good
from?
baked
Where is
potatoes, matzah Shabbos, and
this
some
from?
schmaltz herring. This is from. It's a sefer called. It's a sefer called Imre Pinchas Sholem, Stories from a Pinchas Koritzer.
Is this a mushroom?
Just telling you the way it is.
No.
Share it with your family in Mitzvah Shem Shabbos when you'll tell them about Shabbos Noach 1992. And no, come on, a story like this, how could you forget? 4 quarters of the apple. Just think about the 4 quarters of the apple.
So the 1 quarter David HaMelech kept for himself.
No, he sent to Ida Ye'idi,
Okay,
and
why?
2 quarters to the 2 Jews,
Oh, for the two,
and a quarter for the Sultan. Now let's go back to the Sicha. I just wanted to give you a flavor of the Chassidish Rebbes and how they looked at the Gewalt of the Kidush Levana. So in this Sicha, the Rebbe said that Api Chassidus, the word is Poshet. That Api Chassidus is like this. Levana is Malchus. Leis Lamegar Mo Klum. Levana has nothing. Has nothing of its own. All the light is a reflection of the sun. Levana is Malchus. Leis Midas Malchus has nothing. All the godly light, it comes from the Shemesh, which is from the husband, which is from Zoh, from Zeir Ampin. So, La'asad Lavai, there will be a lot of Koyach in Malchus, but now, whatever comes from Malchus is from Zeir Ampin. That's really the idea of Yichud, Hashem Havai and Shem Elikim. Like the story when the Jews saw the miracle that happened, was performed by Leonov, and all the people scream out, Hashem Olikim, Hashem Olikim, Havai Olikim. What is the meaning of the Havai Olikim? Olikim is Teva. The Gematria is Teva. Yudke Vavke is Hoya V'yir Ke'echad, is transcendence. It's the Eibishter, the way he is Be'emes. There is sometimes a mistake that we see the world as a separate entity. We see only Shem Elikim. God created the world. But now that there is a world and there's God. Again, the 2 different things. But the Yidden declare that no, Havaya Hu Elikim. That this Yudke Vavke, which is transcendence and the Emeskite of the Eibishter himself, he controls every detail in the world. If a little leaf falls, and it turns 6 times or 7 times, it's an afkemina, and the Eibishter decides if it'll turn 6 times or 7 times, and it goes into the general plan of why the Eibishter created the world. So, Yudke Vavke, Hu Elikim. And why do we say it 7 times? Because there's 7 levels in Yudke Vavke, and each time, it's not like when Motzim Kippur we say Hashem Elikim, Hashem Elikim, Hashem Elikim. We're not saying 7 times the same thing. Api Chassidus is saying 7 different things. There's 7 levels in Yudke Vavke, and we're bringing down the 7. And by the time it comes down to the highest dag of Yudke Vavke is connected to Elikim, then we declare Lashon Haba B'Yerushalayim, because we're ready for the Geula.
Is the 7 Elikim?
The 7 the dag is in Yudke Vavke.
Not the 7 Elikim.
No, could be, but that's not what the Rebbe says. There is a Shiva Elikim, and you would like to connect it. I don't know. I would like to connect it, but I don't know. Okay. So, but it sounds good. So Hashem Elikim 7 times, and B'chlal, the general thing is that the Levana is Meramas and the Golus, and the Pegimas Levana is the Golus, and the Chidush Levana is the Geula. That's why the whole thing, everything we say is about Bikshus David Elikim, as the Bikshu as a Yidna Mavakesh as Hashem Elikim, the Yudke Vavke should become Elikim, and automatically there's David Malcolm, Amen. When Yudke Vavke will be Elikim, David HaMelech, his kingdom will be revealed through Mashiach Tzidkenu. And we finish off by saying Amen. That's why the whole Inyan of Kidush Levana is connected to the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu, because the Levana is Meramas on the Golus, when Yidden are beaten and they're small, and the Chidush Levana is the idea of the Geula. And again, Api Kabbalah, the sun is Yudke Vavke, the moon is Elikim. Right now, there is a disconnect between the sun and the moon, and there's very little light in the moon. The moon is not reflecting well enough the light of the sun. The moon will reflect the light of the sun in the most spectacular way. It'll give off light like the sun itself. And that's going to be Beruchni, is because Havaya Hu Elikim. So therefore, the Rebbe said that it must be that this is one of the things that we should do in order to bring Mashiach Tzidkenu. We should make a big campaign and make sure that every Yid knows that once a month to go out and tackle, like it says in Shulchan Aruch, to have begodim chashuvim, to try to do it Matzah Shabbos, to do it beroiv am hadis melech, as many people as possible, to do it with music and dancing, with fanfare. And versteht sich, every place has their minhagim, if they do it right between the day 3 and 7 or not. But the ikid is that to do it with a lot of excitement, to do it with a lot of excitement. And when we do it, we have a kavona that we're doing it, and we're asking the taka, Bikshu es Hashem Elokeim as David Malka Amen, that we're asking the Eibishter that he should finally bring Mashiach Tzidkenu, that Havaya should become Elikim, and David the Melech should reveal himself. Finally. So this was the big campaign that the Rebbe made in Toshin and Beis. This is the Sicha. The Kviyus dafke like this year. The Kviyus was exactly like this year.
So that's the last year.
Yeah, and that was one of the last.
How often
things
it comes to cycle for the same?
Not
time?
so often. Not so often.
They did Kidush Levana Lepoil?
That night, I don't know if they did Lepoil. I have to ask people. But as I said in the beginning of this year, that when the Rebbe finished saying the Sicha, it was like a surprise that the Rebbe said 7 times with the Nigun of Yom Kippur, Hashem Hu Elikim, Hashem Hu Elikim. And then the Rebbe declared Lashon Haba B'Yerushalayim, and he said like Yerushalayim with a stretched out, and the whole 770 screamed out, "Oh man!" And they started singing Napoleon's March. David shall help from the Kain Tialonu, that we already made the hachlot in our mind that we're going to talk to all the Eden around us, that everyone should make sure to do with great excitement the mitzvah Kidush Levana, including us this Matzah Shabbos and basement of Chamendel. And ready with this hachlot, we should be Zoich L'Shon Haba B'Yerushalayim. Amen.